this is to showcase another DP problem, which is simplified version from buy and short. This is only buy and sell. As the list of the arrays start to be a 1D array and the price fluctuated, want to find the maximum profits when the stock can be purchased as was sold. So this is effectively to try to find out what is the accumulated price gap for the increasing array, or can be a decreasing array, or we can find the single longest array or single longest sub-array inside the stocking price. As a typical DP problems again, we want to initialize the whole status. There is a transaction limit as k equals to 2 in this case, and this k can be unlimited and can be as most as to the half of the array, which will be unlimited transactions because we can capture every fluctuation. But if not in here with a limited case, we can solve this by dynamic programming when we initializing the to state. There is two state in this diagram as when we buy or sell. The profit can be made once we made the sell, but once we start buying, we're gonna invest the price up from early on. So it is pretty simple for us to define the state as buy and sell as two states to start with, and then try to initialize every single object of where this buy position and sell position would be. When we're going through the price, when we're going through each of the price, we could effectively see how the transaction will be impacting each of the positions in this stock price timelines. And here's the code. We define the state, buy and sell, and defining the sell will be nothing because there's no buy happening in the first, and sell will be all default to 0. And the buy would be always to minimum value, which we leave enough space for minimum value with -2. And here we go, start with a core logic flow for the dynamic programming where we go through the price. So once we start initializing the DPs, this is going to be at most k transactions in here because we want to separate we want to initialize the first, or to leave the space for the first price, which defaultly is no transactions, but we want to go through about one more levels as we go through the k transactions. So transaction really starts with 1 because we want to leave the space for 0 to be always starting with the first price. As we go through the transactions from 1 to k, as each price goes, the transaction can be impacting on the DPs. For each of the buy, we want to compare its maximum position from its current buying position as its default buy. As we're not buying, this is default not buy, versus if we want to sell from the previous position and we buy in today's price. And once we buy in today's price, the buying money gonna further decrease to the buy price of where our buy price is. But this money needs to be further compensated later on because we're gonna sell it later on. And then for each of the position in the transaction of the sell, we're gonna try to compare with its price to impacting this position to see the current sell position as a no sell compared to if we sell today, sell at today's price, then the price will be compensated. Which one is higher? We're gonna settle for today's sell position as long as increase today's position from its existing position to the buying position plus price. We're gonna do the sell today. If not, we will default to no sell. As we loop through all the K transactions, as we loop through all the prices, we're going to impact into all the transactions we can make throughout the time series. And finally, when we get in the last transactions on its final position for the sell, because we have to sell at the last day, as either sell or we have to clear all the stock at the last position, whether it's no sell or it's sell at the last price or last or I's last sell. We're gonna know the maximum profit from here. So as a typical DP, this would tell us position. We could run this as how it goes through the stock price, but I guess in here when we're trying to initiate when we're trying to see the DPs, the DP would tell us more closely about how the price would so in here, as we can see, the initial price has been set, and when we're going through the number 2, the number 2 will start to initiating the buy and sell. When buying, it's defaultly the minimum, but the sell is defaultly 0. And when the 2 comes, the buy gonna change to -2 and -2. And when it becomes -2 and -2, the sell gonna start to change. As 0, it's start to no sell for the first and no sell for the second. And when the price goes to 4, we will see when we sell, we'll make 2 profit, and 2 will be the profit. And when the price becomes 1, there will be buy-in as we decrease further values, and the sell price is still going to be 2. And even though we're changing the buy price as 1, the sell price is still going to be 2. So we're simply not going to pick that because that's a change on the buying position, but not the sell positions. Similarly for the much longer strings, we'll go through 3 as we previously highlighted, and then from the number 2, it will start impacting which ones start to buy in and which ones start to sell. And when we go into number 6, this will clearly tell us this is the time for sell because this is the increasing part. That's how we make the profit of 4. And once again, it started decreasing. It's not making any impact, but it's making impact in here. And we sell position as number 4. But later on, when it starts jumping from 0 to 3, this will make impact from jumping from 4 to 7. So the final profit of the stock change will be 7. So that's the end of the demo.